Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. You know, I'm not normally an ass kisser on these things, but I have to tell you, this movie was so rad.
Ah, good.
You originally didn't want to do this film. What made you change your mind?
You know what? It was the writer Kevin Williamson's pitch, actually. He gave me a call and he told me what he was thinking of for the film and the concept that he had, and I realized that it was going to be really fresh and really up to date again and really original like the first was, and so that was that was obviously very convincing for me. And then it was really important to me that Wes Craven and Courtney Cox and David Arquette be on board as well, and so when I had conversations with them and found out they were going to do it, that's what made me jump.
Now, do you have a process on how did you jump back into your role of Sydney?
It's not that difficult. It's really just about being true to the writing and true to the character. I've been playing her for 15 years, so it's very familiar for me. And for me, really, the fun is getting to play with Courtney and David with their characters, because the dynamic amongst the three is good fun.
Well, there's so many reboots out there right now. Why do you think this one works, and whereas the others have completely failed? Let's be serious.
Yeah, you know, I think Wes Craven is a really talented director, and Kevin Williamson is a really good writer, and I think people really enjoyed these films 10 years ago and 15 years ago, and there's a nostalgia to these films and a relation that audiences have to these characters that's good fun to revisit.
Your character Sydney is revisited and haunted by Ghostface over her life. I was just kind of curious if you've ever had a trick-or-treater or showed up to a Halloween party where somebody was actually dressed in that costume, because it's a really popular costume.
All the time, all the time. I get them at my house in London, and it's always very entertaining to see their reaction to seeing me when they're wearing the ghost face.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. You know, when we made the very first film 15 years ago, we were all fairly new to this, and we knew the script was good, and we knew there was a possibility that it would do well. We had no idea how well it would do, but I do remember talking to Jamie Kennedy and saying, you know, there could be a costume next year, but we didn't really think that it would happen.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Technology plays a really big role in this film, and you know, when I was in high school, when the movies came out, you know, nobody really had internet at their house, and I'm just curious, have you embraced the technology side of this, or?
I think the way that it's been brought into the film is really good and really smart. Me and my life personally, I'm still learning. I'm a bit clueless. I'm not very good. I went to Radio Shack the other day to try and buy a tape recorder, and they just laughed at me. And they said, you know, you can do that with your BlackBerry. And I was like, yeah, I don't think so. Get me a tape recorder. I'm a little behind in the times.
That's awesome. Well, if you could pick right now any role to play, anything at all, what would it be?
You know, I don't think it's about just any one type of role. It's always down to the writing and the quality of the writing, and also who's directing and the kinds of people I'm going to be working with, the cast, and that to me is far more important than just the kind of character that I would play. So really, it's just looking for good scripts and solid people to work with.
Now, you produce as well. Are there any upcoming projects?
Yeah, well, I'm about to, not one that I'm producing, there's one called Singularity that I'm about to fly to India to shoot with Roland Joffe, who directed The Mission, and that's with Josh Hartnett, and it's a really beautiful script. And then I've got two projects that I'm developing. One is called Three Dog Night, which I hope to shoot in the summertime in Australia, and it's a really beautiful little independent, intimate film. And the other one is called Rain, and it's more fantasy, big genre kind of picture, and that's going to take a while to get the financing and stuff. But those are the projects I'm working on at the moment.
Well, I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I thoroughly enjoyed this film.
Good,
and
good.
I hope you have a great day.
Thank you, you too. Take care.